Okay. Marianne. Oh no, that was a response. No, I think Becca was responding to Dawn's comment. Okay, let's get comfy, cozy, and maybe just take a moment to close your eyes. And just start to notice the rhythm of the breath. And we're not trying to change it or manipulate it in any way. Notice if you begin to judge it or want it to be something else. And maybe that breath is steady. Maybe it's a bit more chaotic tonight. Maybe it enters smoothly into the body. Or maybe you're noticing a bit of a shakiness. All of these things are welcome. We're just gently allowing ourselves to step into that part of us that can just observe, that's just curious. She doesn't need to fix. She doesn't need to do anything. And sometimes when our day has been busy, or the mind is chattering away, or the emotional body feels particularly loud, or maybe there's physical discomfort. It can be challenging to just be with the breath. So if that's resonating with you right now, you might find it helpful to begin just counting the breath, breathing 1 on the inhale, 2 on the exhale, 3 on the inhale, 4 on the exhale, and continuing at your own pace up to 10 before starting again at 1. And if at any point you become distracted, know that's perfectly okay. And when you notice, just bringing your attention back to counting from 1. And I invite you to shift your awareness now to the crown of the head, the very top of the head. And just initially becoming aware of any sensation that lives in this part of your body in this moment. Doesn't matter how subtle, just becoming curious of what you can sense here. And I invite you to consider a little intention for your practice tonight. Maybe it's how you wish to approach this. Maybe it's about the energy you wish to embody as you leave. Maybe it's a particular part of you whether that be the mental, emotional, or physical body that feels like it needs your love, attention, and healing. And I invite you to imagine that that intention is forming like a little seed in your heart space. Your will is creating this little seed ready to form. And I invite you to imagine that is floating up through the throat, through the head, coming out at the crown, and floating up to the heavens above. Now, if you work with any guides, angels, deities, ascended masters, you may wish to call them into your practice tonight. Ask them to assist in your healing and to support you with your intention. And I invite you to imagine now. And as I say imagine, for you that may be visual. For someone else it might be through feeling. It might be through sensation or a knowing. But however it manifests for you, I invite you to know that is absolutely perfect. And I invite you to imagine that moving down through the cosmos is the most beautiful iridescent light that is forming a stream, like a cosmic waterfall, that it's making its way down towards the crown of your head. And as this comes into contact with you, you feel the most beautiful healing sensation wash over you. And that healing relaxation washes through your mind, down through the face, softening all of the muscles in the brow, around the eyes, relaxing the jaw and the mouth as it moves down through the neck, softening and soothing as it goes. And it begins to pool. Create a beautiful little pond of healing energy in your heart. And you may even wish to place a hand on this area of the body. And notice as the energy begins to pool here, as it creates its own little healing pond. You feel your heart soften too. The guards and walls that you've had to create around this space to keep yourself protected. Just for now, no longer feel required. You allow yourself to see beneath your shields. And as our shields begin to drop, we often feel a little bit vulnerable, a little bit bare. But know this is safe. You are only revealing this to you. And as these walls begin to melt away, you might become more aware of the energetic or emotional weight you've been carrying. And we're going to allow ourselves to look at that, not from a place of judgment, not from a place of wanting to fix or correct, but as you would, as if you were witnessing a child. That was experiencing distress or upset. grief or pain. Meeting it with the same kindness that you would if it was a friend. Just being with it. And as you become aware of the emotional body, you may feel called to change where your hands are resting. Allow your intuition to guide you here. And know that that iridescent healing light that's moving through the crown and pooling in the heart space is now trickling down the arms, running in the palms. And you get to direct this healing energy wherever it needs to go. Placing your hands wherever you feel called. And just becoming curious of what happens when this energy from your palms mixes with any sensations you've been carrying inside. Maybe you feel a tingling, a shifting, an easing. Maybe the intensity changes. Maybe the weight of what you've been holding inside begins to lighten. Maybe you see a color, an image, and maybe you experience none of these, and know that's also welcome too. And as this energy does its work, I invite you to take a moment to consider all that this body does for you. Now, often we are so busy judging it. Maybe we judge the aches and pains, the things that don't operate as we want them to. Perhaps we want a little bit less of something, a few pounds lighter here. Or maybe we struggle to put it on. But let's just take a moment to consider everything it does for you during the course of a day. Everything as simple as, I say simple, but taking in the air, transforming that in the body, allowing it to travel to where it needs to go, and exhaling all that's not required without you even having to think about it. Or maybe for you, it's taking a moment to marvel at our ability to take a piece of food, a plant, an apple, even a chocolate biscuit, and how your body can break that down, extracting what it needs, releasing what it doesn't, even when you're not consciously doing it. Maybe you're proud of what your body has given you. The experiences it's allowed you to have, the places it's allowed you to visit, the cuddles, the pleasure, the beautiful sensations of sun on your skin, breeze in your hair, the ability to see and hear, to express. And it does all of this, often despite our judgments. So maybe taking a little moment to say, Thank you. This beautiful vessel that allows you to experience life here on planet Earth. And what about the wonderful mind that can decipher, discern, that can work things out, that can come up with plans and strategize, that I'm sure has got you out of a few sticky situations. That allows you to make sense of the world and your experiences. That does so much without us even trying. Operating in the subconscious. All those things we do on autopilot with very little effort required. And again, often we're so critical. Perhaps when it's foggy or it's taking a bit longer than it used to. When it thinks those thoughts that aren't particularly helpful. When it begins to catastrophize. All of it in an effort to keep you safe, to keep you well. So maybe taking a little moment to say thank you to your mind. To everything it's helped you with in this lifetime so far. And maybe taking a moment to notice if your hands want to shift to somewhere else. No need to overthink. And let's take a moment to consider the emotional body and all the information that has provided you with. The anger that was created when a boundary had been crossed. the happiness that pointed to what really matters to you in a particular moment or time. To the grief that arises as a way to remind us of how deeply we've loved. And what a privilege that is. To the awe that we experience when we feel that deeper connection to that which is bigger than us, this universe, God, nature. And to that quiet contentment that we might feel every now and then. Pointing to that which refills our cup, that feels pleasant in this lifetime. And yet often, again, we're judging, wanting to live in some state of bliss or happiness, forgetting the wisdom that's held in every single emotion. So maybe taking a moment to say thank you to that part of you. That signposts you to that which you need to know. Thank you. And I invite you now to consider if there's any part of you that you've been judging quite a bit recently. Maybe a part of your personality, maybe part of your body, your emotional temperament, a change you're experiencing within. And I invite you to ask yourself if there's another way to look at this. If you were looking at this through the eyes of compassion, through wisdom, what would be different? And maybe you notice that you feel that part of you that's been judged in a certain part of the body. Or perhaps your hands feel drawn to a certain part of the body as you think about this part of you that you've been judging recently. And I invite you to place your hands there now and allow that beautiful iridescent light that is moving in through the crown of the head, moving through the face, down the neck, into the heart, traveling along the arms and into the palms, noticing that healing sensation move into this part of you, filling her with love, with acceptance, maybe even, dare I say it, gratitude, thankfulness. Thank you. And just beginning to notice if there's any final places in the body that need a bit of love. And allow your hands to travel there. And just becoming curious of any sensations that arise. And I invite you now to Just allow your hands to relax. And we're going to allow that channel that is coming through the crown chakra to begin to close off just a little bit. To slow that stream of light down. Until it becomes a very small trickle that lightens more and more, but still feeling that beautiful vibration, that resonance of the energy that's been left behind, that full heart. And taking a moment to thank any guides that you invited to join you here this evening. Thanking them for their support, for their assistance. Or for the universe, for allowing you to access this beautiful healing energy. And also taking a moment to check in with your intention. Do you feel like you stayed aligned to that course? Was it fulfilled? No judgment if not. And noticing if anything different emerged instead. Often the best healing insights we can't foresee. And take a moment to thank yourself for showing up here this evening, for making the time, for making the effort, when there's always 101 different reasons not to. Thank you. And also to the other people that have joined you here this evening, whether here live or watching in the ether on replay, for helping to create this beautiful space of energy. Maybe sending them love and a little thank you. Maybe imagine a little line connecting each of your hearts and that beautiful energy, creating this endless giving and taking, this reciprocity. And ever so slowly, I invite you to ever so gently begin to allow your eyelids to float open and allow your gaze to just take in your environment, noticing if there's anything in your room that just catches your eye because it's pleasant to look at. Orientating yourself back into this here and now. And you don't even need to know why you find something particularly pleasant to look at. It might be the curve of something, the way the light hits it, a shadow that's cast. A particular color that's really pleasing to look at. So lovely. For the rest of the evening, I would invite you to see if you can hydrate, drink some water, perhaps give yourself a bit of a break of any toxins for at least an hour. And if you can, allow the relaxation to continue. Try not to rush into adrenaline mode. But I would love to know in the comments, perhaps one word, if that feels good to you, of how you found that. And for those of you watching on replay, this is where we're going to love and leave you to, I can see the comments are already coming in, lovely. So for those of you watching on replay, this is where we're going to love and leave you to open up the circle for sharing. But I hope that gave you just what you needed on this winter's Monday evening or whenever you're watching this. Take care of yourselves and I will see you soon.